Alright, so today I'm going to show you how to do a contour line drawing, continuous contour, and a blind contour. So remember, the regular contour is just when you're looking at the outer lines and exterior lines of an object. So outer lines would be here, and then interior lines would be something like this, and here. Okay, so this will be the object I'm looking at to draw today. So with a regular contour line, so my object's right here. I know it's not in the video. So you can look at the object, you can look at your paper, or in my case, board, as much as you need to. I would recommend going pretty slowly. And remember, this one, you can pick up your drawing utensil as much as you need to. Make sure that I'm really looking at my object as much as I can. Really paying attention to where those lines meet. Looks like there's another one right here to kind of show the rim there. I'm pretty much checking after every line that I make. It's a little hard when I'm off-center here. After every line that I make sure that I'm not just guessing what that line I think would look like. Like right there, I was looking at my drawing a little too long, and I forgot that there's a little to pay attention for the spout that's going to come out right here. Really paying attention to what you see, because very easily I could have thought like the spout of that is round, but when you're looking at it from at least the way that I'm looking at it, it's a very oval, it's an ellipse. I think that's all I've got. So right here, I would just kind of leave that. You don't need to worry about erasing anything when you're doing your contour practices, because they're just practice. I'm going to look at the same object. I'm going to do a continuous contour. This one is where I leave my drawing utensil on my paper or board the entire time I draw this object. Again, I want to make sure that I'm looking back and forth a lot to make sure that I'm in the right spot. So I'll go ahead and get started. I will say before I start, it's easiest for a continuous contour to start on the outer edge somewhere, not smack dab in the middle of the object. So again, I'm going to start on that handle. And for this, it is totally okay to go back over some spots if you feel like they weren't really accurate the first time, like right there at the top. Didn't feel like it was quite right. I'm going to go into that opening right here. And again, remember, all of this is just practice for you to get better at looking at your objects that you're drawing. You might have to trace back over some of the lines that you've already drawn. Like earlier I drew up and now I'm drawing back down. Same thing there. Sorry, the angles I'm drawing at are pretty wonky. So I'm drawing at quite an angle. I don't normally draw up on the wall. Let's see if we've got everything there. I'm going to go back and kind of fix this right there because that angle's going up there instead. Check before I let go that I've got everything. I think that's it. Okay. So that's the reason we do this type of continuous drawing is so that we get used to having long, smooth, not brush strokes, but lines when you draw. A lot of us will start with like little tiny sketches back and forth, which is fine, especially if you're just trying to gauge like about how big something is or the general shape of something. But when we're trying to work on nice, clean lines, we want to get into the habit of having a nice, continuous line where you're moving your drawing utensil in one direction. And then the last one is blind contour. In this one, I'm going to make sure that I'm only looking at what I am drawing, not what I'm drawing on. So I'm looking at the subject, not my paper. Okay. This one might totally look really weird, and it's totally okay, because what we're practicing is looking at our object, seeing what is actually there, not just what we think is there. So I'm going to find my spot so I don't go too wild here. All right, I'm going to start in the handle, same spot I usually do. And for this one, it's a little more helpful to do it slowly. And also, I would recommend doing it in continuous line. You don't have to, but I find it's easier to keep my spot if I kind of keep continuous. All right, so notice that I have not looked at my board yet. I'm kind of hoping I am at least a little bit close. But if I'm not, it's okay. And now I'm going on to that spout. And then I'm going to travel back up just so I kind of think I know where I am. And I think I'm almost done. Trying to make sure that you keep a mental note of all the things that you've drawn. I think I've got it. Okay, so not too bad. So there, obviously the handle there was quite separated from the actual container part of the watering can. But for the most part, I'm still getting those lines, like the actual curvature of this line and these lines were really nice. So even though your final drawing might not look exactly like what you are drawing, just make sure that you're taking it easy on yourself and notice that you are just working on the skill of looking at the object that you're drawing and starting to create those smooth, nice lines and paying attention to the actual edges of those objects. Okay, good luck.